All right, you've spoken so much about insecurity and related issues. Looking at the state of the nation generally, there have been widespread insecurity. Before it was restricted to the Northeast, but right now it's virtually across the length and breadth of the country. And of course, Nigerians are also crying of hunger. And all of this. And then, of course, they also relate it to a threat on our democracy. What's your reaction?
It's unfortunate that this government can even celebrate Democracy Day. What are you celebrating? The whole idea of Democracy Day, if you remember, was that a military ruler annulled a free and fair election. One can understand. He's a military, leader. He's not democratically elected. But a democratically elected president, President Tinubu, annulled the election of Rivers State people. Whenever you suspend a governor and all the elected representatives, you have annulled that election, even if it is temporarily. That's what it means. That was why I was saying he suspended sections of the Constitution to be able to promulgate that martial law. Because the governors, the House of Assembly members, were elected by the Rivers State people. And federalism means that the central government has its own powers enunciated in the exclusive legislative list. They have their own, the states have their own powers enunciated in the concurrent list and in the residual list. Where did he get the power to annul an election by the federating unit? Because when you say you're suspending a governor, you are annulling an election, even if it is temporarily. Fubara's years is 4 years. When you suspend him for 6 months, you have taken 6 months away from the 4 years. That means he was never now a governor for 4 years. That is against the spirit of June 12th. Even all the die-hard followers of Tinubu condemned it. Even Wole Soyinka, even Ayo Fayoshi. Because you can't be sitting as an elected president and you're removing an elected governor. Okay, look at it. How many people did they say died in Rivers State for them to proclaim that state of emergency? How many people are dying in Benue? How many people are dying in Borno? How many people died in Niger State?
Plateau.
In Plateau State. And then, where is the state of emergency? You know, in South Korea, the Constitutional Court, in agreeing that the president of South Korea should be removed for declaring martial law and trying to remove constitutionally elected government, they said no, political logjam should be settled politically, not by the declaration of martial law. What was going on in Rivers State was a political logjam. It was not anything that has to do with security of Rivers State. And Tinubu, being a central government, has no business to interfere in a federating unit by the principle of federalism on how they settle their political logjam, because the constitution is very clear. You can impeach the governor, you can remove him. That is the only acceptable way of removing a governor, by the constitution, section 188. Then the governor can die, and then God has removed him. He can resign. He can be permanently incapacitated and be removed. So that is the only way you can remove a governor, by section 188, 189. And the governor cannot come into existence except through election. But Tinubu cancelled the election of Fubara and brought in a military man to govern Rivers State. This was exactly what happened in June 12th. Babangida cancelled the election and brought in a Shoneko. And then Abacha came in. And that was how they continued until Abiola died. If anything happens to Fubara now before 6 months, is that not the reputation of Abiola issue? Because you don't have any right over somebody's life. So what Tinubu did was exactly what Babangida did in June 12th. So let him stop blaming Babangida for annulling June 12th, because he has annulled the election of Rivers people, even if it is temporarily. Because take away 6 months, it is no longer 4 years. That is the constitutional mandate. So he annulled the election for 6 months. So the kettle should stop calling the pots black. This is a black democracy day, and it will go into history that an elected president has annulled the election of Rivers State people to impose on them a military man for no reason, because the constitution is clear on what state of emergency entails, and it has nothing to do with removing elected representatives. Goodluck Jonathan declared state of emergency in 3 states, opposition states, and did not remove any governor. And Tinubu declared the state of emergency in Rivers State and used it to usurp the power of the opposition party. No other person has done it. When Obasanjo declared his own state of emergency, it was only in the states that are governed by his own party. But Tinubu used his own to grab power of Rivers State. And Tinubu is now the person presenting the budget of Rivers State illegally to National Assembly. And National Assembly illegally approved through voice vote Tinubu's proclamation. You see how everything, we're waiting for the courts to know whether they will complete the illegality or that they will rule according to law. So I don't want to comment on that since it is sub judice. So the issue is that this is a black democracy day, just like everything this government has been doing, imposing on us black economic policies that makes inflation to become galloping inflation. Look at energy costs, astronomical. We are paying almost 1,000 naira per liter. Look at the salaries of workers. When Tinubu came in, they were earning about $60 per month. Now they are earning about $40-something per month, even with his increased salary, because the exchange rate was about 400, and when he came in, which is more than $60 if it is 30,000. Now it's about 1,600, and which is less than $45, even if it is 70,000 naira. Look at high interest rates. They want people to borrow money at the cost of 35%. How would you recover your principal and interest to pay back the loan within a year? So businesses are collapsing. Look at the refineries. They invested billions and told us it's working. Now they told us they are back to maintenance. Why don't you sell them off? Lying government. So look at transportation. People no longer go to work. People that have small businesses have brought back the businesses to be using their house. Because if you transport yourself to your workplace and you don't sell, you'll be bankrupt. Look at security. People cannot go through the street. They're afraid of being kidnapped. They cannot go to their farm. They're afraid of being raped or kidnapped. If they go to the river, flood will carry them. 200 die of erosion in Niger State. So look at frequent policy flip-flop. So where would you say that this government has excelled to make me to say, please, let's give them one more chance? I can see. You know what Tinubu promised? He promised 12% GDP growth per year if he's given a chance to govern. Now, even with all the figures, they're saying about 3-point-something%. That is about 25% achievement from the promise that he made. That's F. 25 out of 100 is what? F. So this government summarily is an F government.
Thanks for checking out Symphony on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.